Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Wembley. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Wembley. Good evening. The first thing I want to do tonight is to thank you. In the last 6 weeks, I have met tens of thousands of members of our Conservative family. And every day, your enthusiasm, your commitment to your communities, your belief in our country has renewed my faith in what we are doing. Yes. People ask about public service. Well, look at this arena tonight. This is public service in action. We should be proud to be members of our Conservative Party. Now this final hustings is special for me because the two people who inspired me to enter public service are actually here tonight. My mum and dad. Now, you may have picked up over the summer that my dad used to be a GP. My mum used to run a chemist where I grew up. But it was their example of service and what they did for people that inspired me to enter politics. Mum, Dad, thank you for always sacrificing and striving to provide a better life for your kids than you had. And thank you for teaching me that with hard work and belief and the love of your family, that there is no limit to what someone can achieve in our great country. Now, I also wanted to say thank you to my incredible, loving, kind wife, Akshata. You know what you mean to me, and I am incredibly grateful that 18 years ago you chose to give up your high heels and take a chance on the short kid with a backpack. Now, right now, our opponents in the Labour Party are sitting at home. They're puzzled. They're asking themselves, why are those Conservatives about to produce Britain's third female Prime Minister or its first non-white Prime Minister? Well, we can tell them. And we can tell them because in our party, we value who you are, not what you are. We are not captured by identity politics. We just want the best person to do the job. And it's because we are not captured by identity politics that we can take on and stand up to this woke nonsense that wants to cancel our history, our values, and can't even say what a woman is. Now, leadership elections tend to emphasise difference. But in fact, I agree with Liz on far more that we disagree on. And I don't just mean our shared love for Whitney Houston and Taylor Swift. But I was proud to work alongside her closely, to put together the most stringent set of sanctions the world had seen, so that we could say to Putin, your aggression will not go unpunished, and Britain will stand up for freedom and democracy. Liz is a fantastic Foreign Secretary. She is a terrific ambassador for our country, and we all should pay her an enormous tribute because she is a proud and passionate Conservative. And when this is done, we're going to come together and we're going to show the country that it is the Conservative Party and only the Conservative Party that can provide the leadership that our nation needs. Now, and that leadership starts by being straight with the country about the economic challenges that we face. Now, I've not chosen to say the things that people may want to hear. I've said the things that I believe our country needs to hear. And although it hasn't made my life easy, it is honest, and for me, that is what leadership is all about. Now, you all saw me in the pandemic acting decisively to successfully safeguard our economy in the face of the biggest shock we had seen in 300 years. So you know, I have the ability, I have the experience to safely steer us through the storms ahead. And my plan is the right plan to tackle inflation, to compassionately support those who most need our help, and to safeguard our children's economic inheritance, because as Margaret Thatcher and Nigel Lawson knew, maxing out the country's credit card is not right, it's not responsible, and it is certainly not Conservative. But just simply weathering the storm is not enough. I want to use my business experience to lead our economy to a brighter future, where we radically reform our taxes so that our businesses are investing more, training more, innovating more, where we seize the opportunities of Brexit to cut red tape and ensure that our economy is the most dynamic in the world. Because unlike Labour, we know, the Conservatives know, that it's the risk taker, the entrepreneur, the small business owner that create jobs and prosperity, and our party will always be on their side. But as your Prime Minister, I want to do so much more than that. So let me tell you about the better Britain that I want to build for all of us. Starting with our National Health Service, the NHS will always be safe in my hands. But we cannot simply keep throwing money at it. I will be brave enough to actually reform it to get the more efficient health service that we need. And when it comes to crime, I will do whatever it takes to ensure that my 2 young daughters grow up in a society where it is safe for them to walk on the streets at night. So whether it is using stop and search or tackling the heinous grooming gangs, I will never let political correctness stand in the way of keeping us safe. But our security starts at our borders. And I stand here as the product of our country's proud, compassionate history of welcoming people to our shores. But that migration must be legal. So as your Prime Minister, my message will be simple. If you break the law, if you come here illegally, if you undermine our system, there will be no place for you, because it is the fundamental right of our country to protect its borders, and that is what I will deliver. Now, there are many proud achievements of the Conservative-led governments over the past 12 years. But for me, the most powerful thing that I believe we have done are the education reforms pioneered by Michael Gove. Just look at Brampton Manor Academy, where more children are going to Oxbridge than even Eton or indeed Winchester. Or the Michaela School, just nearby, whose pupils are getting the best GCSE results in the country. Now that's important. Because for us as Conservatives, education is the best way that we spread opportunity, the best way that we reduce inequality, indeed the best way that we transform people's lives. And that is why, as your Prime Minister, I will ensure that whether it's our schools or indeed our apprenticeships, under the Conservatives, the birthright of every child will be a world-class education. And in conclusion, let me just say something about the conduct of government. I will lead a government that is conducted competently, that is conducted seriously, and with decency and integrity at the heart of everything that we do. That is the change that I am going to bring. That is the Prime Minister that I am going to be, and that is how we are going to win the next general election. And we must do that. We must do that, because if we don't, it won't just be Keir Starmer walking through the door of Downing Street. He'll have Ed Davey, Caroline Lucas, and Nicola Sturgeon with him too. We can't let that happen, and we won't. Now, my fellow Conservatives, we put ourselves forward to lead Britain in good times and bad times alike. The public did us the honour of choosing us to do the job. Now let's go and prove them right. Thank you.